Good morning again. We are here to do some more yoga. So grab your mat, grab some pillows, and let's begin. So welcome to another edition of my yoga with Donnia. Find yourself a comfortable spot and just sit for a moment in Lotus Pose, legs crossed, hands over your knees where they can be in Dhyan Mudra, which is thumb and forefinger touching. Lay them out over your knees and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Lower the shoulders. Spine nice and straight. Imagining that there's a string attached to the top of your head and the base of your spine, pulling you tighter straight up, but yet firmly rooting you to the earth. Go deeper with your breath, inhaling 5 seconds, working your way up to 8, and exhaling 5 seconds, working your way up to the count of 8. Bring your hands into prayer pose. We'll start with our opening mantra. Feel free to join me out loud wherever you are, or just do it silently in your head. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo means I call on the divine wisdom within, connecting you to everything and everyone around you and on planet Earth. The joining of the hands represents the joining of the hemispheres of the brain. So we're going to use this as a way of settling the brain, even just for the next hour. Nice comfortable inhale from the belly. Inhale to begin our mantra. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. At this time, I want you to press your hands together meeting some resistance, pressing them nice and tight to each other over the heart center, allowing them to vibrate all of your positive energy for yourself and for our planet. Press your fingertips together, the palms together. Let them vibrate. Inhale and release. Hands to the forehead and hands up overhead. And slowly pull them apart and let them come down. Nice and slow, nice and gentle. Creating your own sacred space. This morning's class, we're going to have a theme from now on. We have what's called the yamas and the niyamas. They are our ethical practices for yoga, to live yoga out on the planet. Yoga is not necessarily something that you do on your mat. It's something that you live. Our first one is ahimsa, which is the yama of non-violence, non-violence towards yourself, towards any living thing on the planet, human, animal, or plant. Finding our courage. We only have to look around us to see that fear abounds. It abounds in cowardly faces that turn away, in violent attacks, in walls of protection, in bins of possessions, in numerous unkind words and gestures. In an abundant world, hoarders take more than their share, leaving others lacking. Wars are started and fought to seize the goods and keep the power. All around the world, children's innocence is destroyed by abuse and horror. If we look closely, we can trace all of these acts of greed, control, and uncertainty back to their root, fear. Fear creates violence. If we are to begin to address these fears, we need to know the difference between the fears that keep us alive and the fears that keep us from living. The first kind of fear is instinctual and built in us for survival. The second kind of fear is fear of the unfamiliar. The unfamiliar can become an abundant place for our exploration once we realize this fear lives only in our imagination. It is only our minds that have created the turmoil in our gut and kept us hostage to the possibility of our own lives. We're going to begin our class today with alternate nostril breathing. Have a tissue handy. You'll probably need to blow your nose. We're going to inhale through the left nostril, closing off the right with our thumb. And then we're going to hold the breath for just a second as you flip the hand and close off your left nostril with your ring finger, breathing out your right. Take this at your own pace and your own rhythm. Breathing from the belly. Eyes closed, focusing at your third eye. Keep breathing. Your third eye also sits right where your pituitary gland is. That helps to regulate your hormones and your fear responses. So let's focus on that while you're breathing. bringing calm back to your nervous system so that your hormones can do their job and help you with your own immunity. Inhale nice and deep and hold it. Allowing that prana, that breath of life, to circulate through your brain and through your throat and your heart and your abdominals into your solar plexus and all the way back up. And exhale. Blow your nose if you need to. We're going to start this morning with some spine opening, warming up. Elbows in as tight as you can to your waist. Keep your eyes slightly open so that you don't get dizzy. Palms up in a receiving gesture. We're going to inhale right and exhale left. Take this at your own pace until you feel warm enough to move a little faster. Use the spine, the muscles of the back to turn you left to right as you breathe with each movement. No need to go any deeper, any faster. Just focus on the muscles of your back, your strong spine, the connection between your nervous system, the brain, and the rest of the body. Slow this down. Come center, leaving your hands where they are, allowing that dizziness to subside, coming back into your body, feeling where it might still be tight, where you might need to focus some attention on, letting go. When there's pain in the body, there's pain in the heart. Most often, all of our pain can be attributed to stored emotions that have not yet been digested. I highly encourage you to take a look at those and start digesting. Stored emotions can wreak havoc on the immune system, the stress levels, just as much as a bad diet and lifestyle. Placing your hands on the front of your knees. We're going to do a chest opener. You're going to inhale forward as you bring the chin to the ceiling. And you're going to exhale back as you round back, pulling the navel to the spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep going. Kundalini yoga. Kundalini means serpent at the spine. And it basically is a energy. It's not necessarily a serpent living in your body, but there's energy in your body. And a lot of times it gets stuck and stored in the sacrum, which is where our fear and anxiety and worry can stem from. So our goal with all of this breath is to release that fear so that your energy can travel up out the top of your head and release itself, release you from anything that's holding you back. Inhale, hold the breath, suspend it for a moment, and exhale. I have my own private bolster here today. So we're going to turn sideways on your mat. Legs outstretched in front of you. Wiggle your toes. Turn the ankles a couple times, back and forth, back and forth. The most important thing to remember with this pose is keeping a flat back. And you'll know what I mean in a minute. Bring your arms up to the sides, keeping them parallel. And as you lower from the waist, you're going to keep your back as straight as you can. So when you're home, I don't want to see rounding and trying to reach for things. Your neck is in a neutral position in line with your spine. And you're just going to reach forward, reaching your calves, your ankles, or your feet if you can. You're going to place them gently. You're going to inhale as you straighten and lengthen the back, and then exhale as you lower the waist down. Keeping those feet flexed, you'll get a nice big long stretch in the back of the legs all the way up to the hips. Your arms all the way back up. And we're going to reach for the toes again. Grab the feet, grab the ankles, lower the head, and hold it here. Back up. You're going to bring your legs out as far as you can without completely killing your abductors. Roll your hips forward a little bit. Bring your knees and your feet in a little closer. You're going to turn your palms facing the mat And lower the body down. Sometimes this is as far as you'll go, and that's totally fine. So we're just gonna hang out here, maybe inch our fingertips up a little bit more so you can feel that stretch in the inner thigh. You're gonna hold and breathe, gently gripping the mat as you pull the body forward, and then letting it go. These are small micro movements, taking your time with each breath. And walk your hands over to the right side, one hand on either side of the leg. Adjust your torso so that your chest is facing your knee. And lower down. Drop the neck to your forehead, to your knee. And just hang out and breathe. Walk yourself gently back to the center. Hang out here for 2 or 3 breaths. Then walk yourself over to the left side. Hands on either side of your leg. Twist the torso just slightly so that your chest is facing your knee. And come on down. Slowly push yourself back up and walk yourself back to center. Reach your hands out a little bit further, flat back, neck up, and just hold and breathe. Walk your hands back up, and your legs back together. Shake those out a little bit. I'm going to turn sideways onto your mat. In my regular yoga classes, this is one of my students' favorites. Wink, wink. Come up to your feet. And then come back down, leaving your ankles off of the mat. Just the balls of the feet are up on the mat. This is called frog. Your hands are nice and spread. They're barely touching the floor. Your balls of your feet are taking most of the brunt of this. And so I want you to breathe Do inhales, we stand up, lift our hips, and come back down. This is a very rigorous pace. So do it as fast as you can with maintaining your balance and your breath. If you cannot keep up, slow it down. And in about 30 seconds, your thighs are going to be burning. We're going to keep going, okay? And let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going, I know it burns. One more. And all the way up. Put your feet flat on the mat. Let the hands rest on the mat or grab your elbows and just hang. Breathe, feel your belly pressed against your thighs. Knees are slightly bent. Deep inhale, bend the knees, bring your arms out to the side and all the way up. And just like back bend backwards. Come center. You're going to bend right. Come center. And bend left. And come center. You're going to turn your body sideways on your mat. And we're going to come up with our hands down to the heart. Inhale, feel your heart beating. Hands up and bend forward all the way. Hands on your mat. Gently bring both legs back into a downward dog. Alternate heels down a little bit if you want. Adjusting the hips. Bringing your head between the arms, if you can. Raising just the hips to the ceiling. Pulling your shoulder blades back together. Breathe in and let it go. You're going to bring the left leg into the center of your body, lifting the right leg up into the air. Feeling that nice elongation from the toes up to the chest. We're going to bring it in and curl it. Lay it down in front of us. If you have bad knees, just be careful. Ultimately, you're going to bring your hips all the way down to the mat. Bringing your arms technically straight out in front of you, but I have a helper today, so I'm just going to rest right here. Feeling that pull in the hips, opening the hip joint, the pelvis, the low back. Take a nice deep breath and slowly come out of this. Hands on either side. You're going to curl the back foot, lifting up the hip and uncurling that leg behind you back into downward dog. Bring that right foot into the center of the mat, lifting the left leg up. Stretching it back behind you, up into the air. Bring it forward. Curl the leg and lengthen the leg behind you. You're welcome to stay right here in this pose. You don't have to go any further. If you want more advanced, more of a stretch, come all the way down. Again, I'm going to use my helper. And just breathe in and out. Let your thoughts come, let them go. This is for you. Ease your way out of this, hands on the mat, curl the back toe, lift the hips up, bring that leg back into downward dog. You're going to walk your hands and your feet together, leaving your feet about hip distance apart, knees bent. You're going to bring your arms up as if you're sitting in a chair. We're going to hold. Shoulder blades back and down, pressing together. Using those feet to ground you, stabilize you on your mat. As you breathe, all the way up. Arms come around into the heart center. Allow the dizziness or any kind of wooziness to subside. Inhale, arms up, slight back bend. Bending to the right. And center, and bending to the left. We're going to take ourselves down to the mat. You've just done a lot of work, whether you know it or not. The body is changing so much right now. So we're going to take a moment and rest in child's pose. You can leave the knees together and bring your arms forward. Stretch out as far as you can, trying to leave the hips placed gently between the knees. Bring it all the way down. If you can, touch your forehead and rest it on the floor. There's modified pigeon as well. You can bring the knees out as far as you want and come resting in between. And walk yourself up. We're going to do a stomach pump. It's going to be pretty hard for you to see, so I'll explain it as best I can. We're going to be working your abdominals, your solar plexus, the place of self-esteem and courage. You're going to bring your arms up overhead so that your elbows are covering your ears. Interlace your hands, fingertips, index finger pointing up. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to suspend the breath. And as we suspend the breath, you're going to pump the belly like a bellows. I think that's what it's called, until you can't hold it anymore, and then you're going to exhale out your nose, and it looks something like this. Be very exaggerated on this. It's very, very good for your immune system and for your overall health. Inhale and pump. And exhale. Again. Exhale. Inhale and pump. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Bring the arms down. And that, my friends, is the end of our movement for today's class. We can go into Savasana, but I'm going to let you pause the video and let yourself rest for a few moments, allowing the body to absorb everything we've just given it and allowing you to be still for a few moments. So go ahead and hit pause. We're going to keep going though. So if you've just joined us again, coming out of Savasana, we're going to rotate the hands at the wrists and your feet at the ankles in one direction and then the other direction. Bringing the knees in for a nice hug, pulling those knees into the chest. And you're going to drop your knees to one side And twist the upper body to the other side. Using your abdominals, bring your knees back up into center. And then we're going to slowly, gently lower them to the other side. Engage your core. Bring those knees back to center. Bring your knees in. Place the hands, the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet together. Rub them briskly. Energize that nervous system. Get things working. Knees in again. And tuck your chin to your chest. We're going to rock up. Back to sitting for a few moments. In conclusion for our session today, this is your time to, if you haven't already, set your intention for the rest of your day. And we're all going to meditate with you. Eyes closed. If you have music playing, focus on just that. Focus on your gratitudes, your friends, your family, everything that you do have in your life right now. And as you do that, as a ritual, I am going to burn some sage for the cleansing of myself, for anyone who might need some extra healing at this time, which I would imagine would pretty much encompass the entire planet. So we're going to let that burn for a minute. And we're just going to sit and be still again. This time contemplating everything to be grateful for. If you have a home, if you have family, if you have food, if you have the internet and a computer to watch this, if you have a trusty friend that's always close by. And don't forget to be grateful for yourself. There is no one in this world like you. And I'm grateful that you're here. And at times when you find yourself feeling fearful or afraid, come back to this gratitude that you're feeling right now. Fill your entire being with gratitude. Maybe even just one thing, but focus on the good because there's so much of it. Hands Hands in prayer pose for our final closing mantra, Sat Nam, meaning true identity. Inhale to begin. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. May you be happy, healthy, holy, protected, prosperous, and blessed. And may you know how truly, truly blessed you are. Namaste. Thank you.